Oshio. I wanted to just share something with you to, something to consider. A lot of times we tend to think of the positions of whether it's pastor or evangelist or some that will use the title of apostle, or thing is, people hear those titles, and if you asked each one what they thought about it, naturally you're going to get different opinions. Everyone has them. So what do you do about, or what do you think? What do you have to say? Well, all I can sit there and tell you is, let's look at Jesus. Did he come, when he came to this earth, when he dwelt amongst men, did he come as a royal ambassador with all the hoopla and the riches and and all this kind of stuff? No. He didn't come like that. He didn't even come as a conquering king. He came as a servant. He did not lord it over anybody. And I think a lot of people, when they see the word, if they're looking like the King James, you'll see the word minister, alright, or ministry, and and they don't really fully understand that that's not a title. That's not a title to go, I'm Minister so-and-so, or I'm Pastor Bob, or I'm Apostle Bob, or whatever, And it's the Pastor Bob Evangelism Hour. The thing is, people put more into their names and titles, and they lose that place of being a servant. If you want and desire to be great, then why aren't you a servant? A bond slave, so to speak. Why don't you be like what Yeshua, Jesus was, He showed us an example, and the apostles did too. A lot of times we think that we're better than someone else, that we're too good, we're the children of the king, and then they get into this prosperity stuff. They're not living as servants, they're living as kings, and people do that. And when you're in a bad situation, sometimes then, I'll just give a small example, okay? But I'm sure you can think of many. Let's say maybe you prayed for a job, okay? And then, bam, there's a job, all right? So you go to that job, and you like the work that you do, but you got a boss that's a nightmare, so to speak. And here you are, a Christian who prayed and asked God for this. Now you think, well, I don't have to take this. I ain't got to take that from them. I'll just walk out. Now, I ain't got to do this or take that. I shouldn't have to. Really? That's where people misunderstand a lot of things about servitude. You're supposed to view that person when you're working for them. Then you might not like what they do, but if that was Christ there, you would be giving them your 100% best, and you would do your best and everything, right? So you're supposed to view it in that light, and that attitude, not an attitude, well, I don't have to take this. You're a servant, and you serve the master, and the Bible tells you his will do good to all men, and not to curse, but to bless. You know, there's others on there who will try to tell you they're making themselves look like they are somebody when they're actually nothing. And when we hear the word minister or pastor, there's a lot of these people, you know, that carry these positions have forgot what their job is supposed to be. They're a servant, and not only should they be a servant, you know, to God, but you know, they should, you know, in other words, okay, to have this attitude. Okay, for instance, you go up to someone and you say, "How can I serve you? How can I help you?" You know, if there's any way I can, in whatever fashion or way I can, how can I serve you? Does kind of throw people off. Now, a most arrogant person would probably say, "I don't need any help." Yes, you do. Yes, we all do. But the thing is, you have to be as a servant, not as a master. You know, see, a lot of people misunderstand a lot of things when it comes to the Bible, and they use it, sometimes they will use it for the wrong reasons. They will try to use it to back them up for their greed or their their selfishness, their wrong attitudes of hate and stuff, and that's not what we was called. We're servants. So if there's anything in you that's not servant-like, and and you're starting to become you're walking that place where one would call either arrogant or very prideful, and think that you're a child of the King and that you're better and above others, now's the time to reflect and look into the service and ministry of Jesus, what he did, and the apostles, the examples that was laid out and set out for us. And to be great, you don't have to be preaching to thousands and thousands and going all over the world and have big cars and all that. No, but to be a servant, to do what you're supposed to do, obedient as a good servant should, or a good slave. But so think of it and reflect on it. Maybe it's something that we can all learn, that we all need to do more, spend most of our time on reflecting on these things. So till then, let me say God bless you. Shalom, and I hope